I think we can all agree on one goal when it comes to high school, and that is success, or even building character development for your future endeavors. I mean, there is nothing wrong with progress, but if there's one thing we also know about when it comes to high school, that is falling off, and your success can be thrown out the window completely. And trust me, you also don't want to have this bad trait, peaking in high school. One of the worst traits known to man that anyone can achieve off their character, and you're pretty much getting the most negative debuffs out there. And if you don't know what peaking in high school is, pretty much being in your prime and doing everything you can that should have been pushed for your future. Today your boy will be giving you advice on how to succeed and to not peak and fall off. We have to talk about the real kicker here, and that is friends. And while we all know and love our friends, we definitely can't trust them at the end of the day when it comes down to high school. And I'll be real with you guys, the best friends that you will have are the original friends that you came into high school with from elementary school, and those will be the last friends that you will have walking out of high school. Entering high school, you're going to stumble upon many different types of breeds of characters, many different player builds, many different attributes, many different skill levels, and some characters will still be there even though their time has expired already. Yes, I'm talking to you super seniors, but most likely when you graduate high school, all the friends that you knew and loved are pretty much going to disappear. You will realize after graduation you're stuck with 1, 2, 3 friends, and are pretty much the only ones and the real ones that you knew since day one. And looking at it from this perspective, it's pretty much no point to ever interact or ever talk with other people. But at the end of the day, no one will care and will obviously have bigger things on their shoulder for their future. But just don't be that person who doesn't understand why they lost these types of people and how they're only stuck with this certain type of group, because it's probably for the best. We also have to add the social life to it when it comes to being a follower and not a leader. And to be honest, this is probably the most hardest thing someone could go through in high school. And the social life of high school will pretty much determine whether you will fall off or succeed, because being stuck in the same secluded area for 4 years with the same exact people, things are definitely bound to change. But sadly, most people nowadays will probably change just to appeal to others. Don't try and be someone just because you want to fit in. It's really no point in it. Like, what do you gain from it? An extra seat with the popular kids at the lunch table? I mean, by all means, go ahead, but you're also agreeing to be part of the lamest group out there. And while it is rare nowadays to spot a popular kid, you will definitely see your handful of semi-popular kids out there who come into the school here and there. And I'm talking about the ones that be coming into school with the latest pair of Jordans that just dropped last week, the types of students that come in school wearing the most down horrendous fits out there, or just judging on how many people flock to them when they first lay their eyes on them. And it's also weird because these semi-popular kids will also have this weird magnetic field around them, this strange aura which brings in randoms to them. Do not be these guys to appeal to others and flex on people, because you'll just be like them, always trashing on how people are this and that when you were just that way 2 years ago. And before you can even realize it, you have already graduated and fell off beyond the earth, and you'll be remembered as a kid that always flexed on everyone, and nowadays you'll be remembered for working a graveyard shift. I'm trying to figure out where that popularity went, Stephanie. All that clout you had on you and you couldn't bring yourself to the top? Something ain't adding up. And don't get me started with the usual baby mamas that probably start appearing around this time too. Usually the same girls that wear 15 tons of makeup on their face. And trust me, the before and after images just aren't adding up. Ain't no way you look like a Barbie 3 years ago and now you're looking like Gargamel. Even the Crimson Chin doesn't stand a chance against you. And when it comes to the social life, we also gotta talk about the internet. Social media is a pain when it comes to high school, especially as a student. Nowadays, as teenagers, you can't take a day off on that, and are pretty much gonna get influenced by TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, looking at the recent posts, looking at the recent likes, trying to figure out how to fake a video to rise to fame. You definitely don't want to get caught up on the internet trying to live someone else's life, because most of the time, their life is pretty much fake, and them still images are nothing. When it comes to change at your own rate, at your own pace, and do it only for you. And you know we had to add a homework aspect to this list, because for some reason, Quavon Willington III couldn't turn in their homework this morning. And it's always the morning of classes where you catch these types of students never turning in their work. It's almost as if you wonder how they even graduate. Like, ain't no way summer school came in clutch like that. And trust me, you definitely don't want to be known as a student who never turns their work. It's probably the biggest embarrassment you can get when a teacher calls out the names and asks if you turn in your work or do you have your work. And when you say no, everyone's just eyeing you like, yep, typical. And depending on class, homework could take a lot of points off. I mean, you could literally be at an A and don't turn in one sheet of homework, and next thing you know, you're at a C knocking on D's door. You pretty much want to do as much as you can when it comes down to it. Even if you have to throw something random as an answer, it's better than not having anything there, because they're probably going to take extra points off just for you not doing anything. And please do not be these students that wait until summer break and only have 2 weeks left to bring their C to an A. And now all of a sudden they're Speedy Gonzalez, Albert Einstein, trying to do all their work like they're the #1 mathematician of the world, when you could have been doing that last month, getting all the extra credit done, and now you're sitting back relaxing without a sweat. I cannot fathom how many times I heard so many people before summer break always saying, hey, is there extra credit? Do we have any extra homework? You already know you down bad when you're asking for extra homework. Don't make things harder than it already is, because you're just setting yourself up. We also gotta talk about not being a bad influence, which is probably the last and major thing on this list. I'm talking about the wannabe cool kids that always go into the school bathroom during school class hours, always vaping and boofing up the whole stalls, pretty much turning the whole place up into clouds and dust, and will literally sit there wandering around doing completely nothing, skipping class like they're the main character, really thinking their grades ain't finna change at all. Or even the kids that come into the school wanting to start beef and start fights, throwing hands with each other just because someone said their hairline was crooked. Or being the kids that go out there dressing up in complete black, being the #1 introvert, listening to XXXTentacion or Juice WRLD, and when you try to talk to them, they scream, I hate the world, I hate my life, I'm down until the end of time. Please do not be these people. You are gaining nothing at all. As a matter of fact, you're pretty much just the average stereotypical person that's about to fall off beyond the earth. I mean, seriously, unless you're gonna have the biggest glow up out there, you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure. I don't know why a lot of students act like being tough and being hard or being a bad boy in school is pretty much the biggest thing out there that will boost your reputation. And they really be going on side quests and missions to boost it up. Like, I'm so serious, one day they'll be in detention, the next day they'll be in an office, and so on and so on. It's like, how many times the school is gonna give you a chance? And you definitely don't want to be caught up in the wrong crowd with these types, because next thing you know, you're on your way to prison because you're an accomplice and will graduate being the usual drunk and alcoholic or vapor that you will see in your everyday life. If you aren't about it, don't be about it. And while there are many different more tips and advice out there when it comes to high school and not falling off, these are definitely the main goals to trying to achieve to succeed. With that being said, this is the best advice that your boy can come up with when it comes to succeeding. It's Josh signing off.